In today's conversation, we'll be talking about sustainable change versus quick fixes. I want to take this into consideration because, I mean, it's uncomfortable when we have to just face these difficult situations. Problems come and go in our lives, right? But we want that immediate relief. We want to just be able to, like, put a patch on and keep it pushing. But we got to understand too, like, based on the situation, we don't want it to compromise us, or like, come on now, let's process what's really going on, because sometimes when we get them quick fixes, we can put ourselves into a worse predicament or situation, right? So it's often to feel this way, but let's kind of normalize the situation, right? So people naturally, like I said, want to be able to have solutions to their immediate difficult problems. Quick fixes can feel appealing because you're able to get that immediate control and that sense of control over the situation. But at the same time too, like I said, depending on the situation, things can be worse based on that quick fix. Because like I said, sometimes, anything good, you feel me? Usually gonna take some time, you feel me? You gotta take that in consideration. So we have to understand what's really going on. When change no longer is expected, it's something that it's easy for us to feel it and assume that we're going to be failing, or we're just going to be going down the spiral. Like I said, based on a sense of our thinking, right? But we have to take into consideration, let's really have a positive mindset. Let's find solutions. Let's find resources. Let's advocate for ourselves. Let's ask for help, right? We don't got to compromise ourselves and act like it's end all be all based on these things. You're not the only one that's stressing over bills. You're not the only one that's stressing over these children and their behavior, right? Everybody has their own circumstances in their life that they're going through, and they're trying to navigate through them. But we need to be proactive in a healthy way, because what we do, how we behave, right, and what we say in our mood, etc., affects other people, right? That's why it's very important to make sure that you have your self-awareness, you're attached to yourself. I always advocate, and I just did this morning, right, is to do your journal entry, really be making sure that you understand what's going on with you, right? But like I said, there is support out here. There's people that want to help you, but we have to be able to look for sustainable resources that are healthy, right? So when it comes to psychoeducation, understanding sustainable change, right? Sustainable change is built through repetitive behavior, right? We got to understand, depending on the situation, there needs to become some type of discipline. We have to be structured. There has to be a foundation, right? In order for us to get the benefits and that outcome to be sustainable, right? For us to be, you feel me, standing on our ground and really smiling, right? We got to be understanding something good is going to take some time, right? Quick fixes only focus on, eliminating that discomfort, right? Without addressing the unfiltered pattern, right? So you're not really you're seeing the blurry vision because you're just seeing the quick fixes get done today. But what about tomorrow? You feel me? In the weeks to come, right? So you don't understand, the things that you do right now could potentially cost you in the future, right? So understand that lasting change usually, like I said, requires that repetition, patience, right? You gotta understand it's a process, right? And adjustment, and supporting others, and getting that support from others is really gonna be beneficial, right? Once again, you can't do everything by yourself. You got to be able to ask for support, right? Closed mouths don't get what? Don't get fed, right? People don't understand what's going on inside your mind. That's really so important. Like I said, to raise your hand, do what you got to do. Talk to somebody that you trust.